What is going on, guys? Welcome to Real Men Talk. Today, we've got a very special episode for you. Today, we've got some guests, and we're going to be talking about a new book coming out called Peanut Butter and Jesus, and we are excited, and I'm excited for you guys to hear about this, so let's get started on Real Men Talk.
Welcome to Real Men Talk, discussing the tough issues facing men and their families every day. Here are your hosts.
What's going on, guys? All right, so for starters, unfortunately, Kyler Sal is not with us today. He had some difficulties come up, and so he was not able to make it, but we're going to go on. And so I want to go ahead and introduce all of our guests today. I'm so excited. Jeff Crum, he's no stranger to the podcast. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, Anthony. What's up, brother? Happy to be here.
What's going on?
What's up?
We have Jeff Wissman. What's going on, Jeff?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. And Wendy Melrose. How's it going, Wendy?
It's a fun night.
All right. So we're going to be talking about a book called Peanut Butter and Jesus. So for our listeners, just give Jeff Crum, this is kind of your vision, right? And so just give us a quick rundown, just from a 30,000 foot view of what Peanut Butter and Jesus is.
Yeah, so Peanut Butter and Jesus is meant to be an object lessons to help kids quickly and easily share the gospel. It should not be more complicated than making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you can make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you should be able to share your faith. And we've done this in a whimsical, fun, just a whimsical, fun way. So we're really excited.
That's phenomenal. So we've got Jeff Wissman and Wendy Melrose. Wendy, tell us what your role is with Peanut Butter and Jesus.
So Jeff came to me with the story back in May and said, God gave me this vision. I don't know exactly how to make it a story. And God gifted me with restored my gift of poetry. And so one morning, we took the concept. Well, first, Jeff and I met together. We got all of the vision. And then God wrote the story through myself, through poetry. And then also, So I'll Love Books is helping, making sure it gets to the publishing process quickly.
Phenomenal. Jeff Wissman, what about you? What's your role with Peanut Butter and Jesus?
Well, it's a 40-page book, and I illustrated the 40 pages in the book. All whimsical, colored pencil, whimsical drawings.
Yeah, I bet that was fun, wasn't it?
It was great. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Well, good. So, what has Peanut Butter and Jesus kids book project meant to you guys personally? Jeff Crum, we'll start with you.
Yeah, personally for me, it's giving us a tangible way to connect with kids. You know, you're seeing the Bible, you're seeing, God kind of being removed from schools, being removed from families, really being removed from the country. So to me, it's just this tangible way of getting it in front of the kids. It was a vision. It was something that I had for a while. I hadn't necessarily seen it as a kid's book. I had seen it more as a devotional. So what this project has done, I mean, it's really encouraged me to take my own leaps of faith and stretch myself and to put something out there that I think is really going to be a tool for kids. It's going to be a tool for parents. It's going to be a tool for teachers and other pastors and youth directors. So yeah, it's been a real passion. It's been a joy. Yeah, being part of this.
Awesome. Jeff Wissman, what about you?
Well, anytime that I can use any of my art skills, it's great. And it means a heck of a lot more when you're using your skills to promote a lesson that can be learned. And it's a good, positive lesson.
Yes. Wendy?
Well, this whole project has been a way for me having been a believer since birth, you don't always understand, even though you don't really know, right? Trying to figure out how to share the gospel with others. And so it's made it really kind of an easy way to open the door. Now, I haven't been sharing this with kids yet, right? Because it's not launched, but it's been able to be like, hey, what project are you working on next? I'm like, I'm working on this thing called Peanut Butter and Jesus. We're like, what? What's that? And so it's made it really fun sharing the concept of the gospel through a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it really makes it tangible even for adults. Like, even though it's a kid's book, I think simplifying it really helps make it easier for adults to share as well. And that's what I've really enjoyed.
That's right. Yeah. The gospel is never meant to be difficult. And the gospel is simple, and just so the listeners know that are in context. So the last time you were on here, we talked about your ministry, Leap of Faith, right? So this dude jumps out of planes for Jesus, right? And so every time I say that, I'm going, dadgum, that is crazy. And so just a few months ago, we were talking, and you're like, hey, I've got this, this side thing. We were talking about Leap of Faith. You're like, I got this side thing that I'm working on called Peanut Butter and Jesus. And I'm like, what? And then here we are just months later. You guys are getting ready to have a book launch. Tell us a little bit about just that journey. It happened so quickly. Obviously, you brought Wendy on, you brought Jeff on, how all this stuff kind of came about to be.
Well, what's crazy, Anthony, is when we had that conversation, I don't know if I had even had a conversation with Wendy and Jeff at that point. No, I don't think. I think it was something I felt a stirring, kind of like with Leap of Faith, and I was seeking it out. And God, what are you wanting to do with this? What is peanut butter and Jesus supposed to look like? And so often we will hold on to these things, and we're afraid to share them with other people, or we're just afraid to let go and let God do what He wants to do in our lives, right? And what's been exciting is and Wendy knows this, right? Wendy, like, you came over to the office that day with John. We're going to throw John Burns' name out there. We did that. He always wants to stay behind the scenes. John Burns, you just got thrown out there. But anyway, John Burns had me talk to Wendy Melrose, and it was hard. It was really hard. Like, there was some emotion. There was actually some tears, and me being willing to share this idea with another person was really, really hard. But Wendy was really easy to work with. She immediately loved the idea. She jumped right into it. And I remember driving back from a paintball event that we were doing over in Illinois. And Wendy is just like, I've got the book. Like, it just came to me. Like, God just gave it to her. I'll let her share a little bit more about that. But yeah, she calls me up and she just starts reading this book to me. And I was just weeping because I just connected with these characters that she had created, Papa and Ella. So she creates this Papa and Ella, and I'll let her talk more about that. But for me, it's just been incredible because, yeah, just a few months ago, I was holding on to this. And if I hadn't let it go, I wouldn't have met Wendy, wouldn't be talking with Jeff Wissman, all the doors that have been opening just in the last few weeks or months. It's just been incredible how fast God's been moving. Incredible.
That's cool. Yeah, and he does that. It seems like when he wants something to happen, he makes it easy. And well, I say easy. It's nerve-wracking and scary and all those things. But yeah, absolutely. So Wendy, we'll start with you. So the very first time you heard the concept of peanut butter and Jesus, what hit you?
Well, it was almost like a light bulb went off because I'm just like, wow, you're right. If we take, we'll take the bread and we're sliced in God's image. And so then we're like him, like 2 slices of bread. And I'm just like, this is amazing. And I don't know if I'm allowed to go into this part yet, but I just feel led to share. It's like the reason why we have Papa share with his granddaughter is, we're on this podcast, right? Real Men Talk. So often our society diminishes the role of men in our world. And I wanted to lift up the man in the family. She's at her grandparents' house. We didn't delete grandma. She didn't pass away, right? She's at the grandparents' house, but she's spending time with her grandfather, Papa, and he gets to share his faith with her and why they're so blessed. And, I'm actually getting kind of like weepy myself, Jeff, with this whole thing. But it's like, it's so emotional because it's very much sharing, passing down from generation to generation, right? We're called to raise up our children in the faith. And we can't do that without just starting with the basics, with just Jesus.
That's phenomenal. Jeff Wissman, what about you?
Yes.
The first time you heard the concept of peanut butter and Jesus, what come to your mind?
Well, first of all, I know Jeff through a networking group that we belong to up here in St. Louis. And one particular Friday, we had a meeting, and I was on my way after the meeting to go down to an art gallery that I show my pieces at in downtown St. Louis. And I happened to show him a piece, and he kind of threw that concept into my brain. But as an artist, I hear people say all the time, I'm going to hire you for some commission work. And I kind of thought he was, a little bit full of it, because but I thought he's never gonna contact me. And then he sure in the heck did. And it was pretty exciting because he held on to his word, and I was really excited to get it started. And it was a great journey.
That's phenomenal. So 40 pages, how long did it take you to illustrate 40
well, that was
pages?
Another thing. When I jumped on board, Jeff said, or next, I think Wendy was the one who told me that I only had 20 pages to illustrate. And I only had until September 22nd to get the drawings completed. And then Jeff said, oh, no, he's got 40. And then I just kind of panicked. And then that turned into a real fiasco because time constraints alone are hard enough. And then when you add an additional 20 pages to what you already have to do,
yeah, that's a lot.
I kind of flipped out a little bit, but
We brought him back in.
They reeled me in. And it was great. It was wonderful. I just downsized the drawings. What I did, you gotta think outside the box sometimes.
There you go. So it sounds like you guys, not only has this been a journey, but it sounds like it's been, not only, I want to say emotional, right? And I'm sure that it has been, but it sounds like it's been a lot of fun. Somebody tell me a little bit about that. So, whoever wants to start.
Well, I'll
Wendy,
start.
we'll start with you.
Yeah, only because, one working with Crum here, he and I, if you get us together, it is, people are just like, wow, it's like you guys don't like each other, but we're very much like brother and sister. It's very, I don't know, banter back and forth. And I'll call him Wissman because we got Jeff and Jeff right here. And so it's been a real joy as an illustrator myself, watching his talent just come through and the Lord just moving through him has been a real blessing because it's inspired me and taught me through this to even be better in my craft as well. So I mean, it has been a lot of fun. We've had our moments where we're definitely brother and sister like. I mean, even Jeff and Jeff themselves could talk about the little punches that they would make each other, and this.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, it's fun.
Well, I can only imagine how, the tension when something comes together this fast and as well as produced as this book is, there's got to be, I don't know how any of you have any hair left.
I don't, but I didn't have hair when we started this project, so I'm good.
And so, Jeff Wissman, tell us about, just kind of the enjoyment and stuff you've had working with, Jeff Crum and Wendy.
Well, I don't know Wendy that well, but I do like her. I like her a lot. And I've known Jeff, like I say, through the ICAG, and I like his offbeat sense of humor, his puns. That's the humor that I like. So I knew I was going to like him from the get-go.
That's phenomenal. So Jeff Crum, let's hear it.
Yeah, it has been a wild ride. Wendy's right. We met today. We had a meeting today, and it's easy to poke fun at somebody that's so genuine. And I think it's the same thing with Jeff. They make it easy to banter back and forth. But they've made it possible because they're passionate, like we're all kind of anxious and excited in our own ways for the book launch coming up to share the book, and as I've expressed to them and other people, when you feel that nervousness, that anxiousness, that's a good thing. That shows that you're excited and you're passionate about what you're doing. And yeah, Wendy again, she's made it so easy to work with through this process. We give each other a hard time. She pushes me though. She pushes me. She keeps me accountable. Jeff, we kind of banter and we light some fires underneath Jeff just to kind of get him going. But, Jeff, man, he rose up. He rose up. There was a time when he was ready to throw in the towel. When we realized, hey, these aren't one-sided pages. These are double-sided pages. So it's not 20. Like you said, it's 40 plus a cover, plus a back, oh my goodness. And, he does this all by hand. Which is just phenomenal when you guys see the work that he's been able to do just through colored pencil. But I've never been more excited to get, text message threads at 5 o'clock in the morning, like these guys get up early in the morning and I'm getting messages and we would see page 7, then we'd see page 8, then all of a sudden we'd see 3 pages come along, and before you know it, like Jeff is just rocking and rolling. So yeah, it's just been a blessing to have them in my life, to have them in my corner, just to see what God's been doing through all 3 of us it's incredible.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's cool to hear from the outside looking in, right? Being able to hear your guys' stories about, how this come about to be and how the book, here we are, here you guys are creating something to glorify Jesus, to proclaim the name of Jesus, not only, like Wendy had said, not only to young people, which is what the book is geared towards, but it makes the gospel simple even for the adults. And so to do that, it's beautiful, right? And you guys have done it so quickly. Like you hear people about working in, and maybe not children's books necessarily, but you hear about people working on books for years, right? The illustrations and, and all these different things. And you guys have managed to do this in months. Obviously we know that it was the hand of the Lord, had a big deal to do with that, the guiding, the ideas, all those things. But just the fact that you guys were able to come together and work so well together and produce something that is so beautiful and is so, magnifying the Lord, I guess is what it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And it's cool to watch from the outside, and just kind of peeking in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, I've got a couple more questions for you guys, and then I want you guys to just promote the heck out of this book and, where the book launch is going to be and all the good stuff. So we'll be right back after this.
This portion of Real Men Talk is brought to you by the Jeweler's Bench. They are a full-service jewelry store offering many styles of gold, silver, diamonds, and gemstones. And all jewelry repair is done in-house, so you can get your treasured pieces back as soon as possible. They are also a licensed Citizen Watch dealer. Make sure to visit them today at 1353 North Westwood or call 573-686-1522. Call or stop in and thank them for bringing you Real Men Talk.
If you want to join in the conversation, join us on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. We gather with other like-minded Christian brothers to discuss hard-hitting topics that affect men on a daily basis and use a biblical approach to overcome common strongholds that affect our families. We show men the importance of being the spiritual leader of their home and what it means to be a real man in the eyes of Christ. Join us at the Palace of Praise, located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. We meet in room 400 every Thursday. Come be a part of the discussion.
Dr. Shami, I come seeking your wisdom.
My wisdom is this. It doesn't matter what you believe as long as you are sincere in your belief.
Oh, you are so wise.
Yes. Now, why are you carrying a 2x4?
Oh, I'm a member of the Religious Woodbonkers, and we believe that if you hit a person on the side of the head with this holy 2x4, they will feel nothing but pleasure and go immediately to heaven.
You believe that?
Well, you said believing is all that matters.
Yes, I did say that.
In fact, let me send you to heaven.
Hold on.
You're not supposed to duck.
Wait a minute. There are physical laws.
Quit ducking.
And one of those laws is that if you hit a person on the head with a 2x4, they will experience a lot of pain.
Wait, if there are physical laws to obey, then there must be spiritual laws to obey.
Now, I didn't say that.
Which means I may have to be concerned about truth. I may even have to examine if Jesus was who he claimed to be, which means reading the Bible.
Well, now, let's not get rash.
Another message from Lifeline Productions, the comic strip of radio at lifelinepro.com.
This portion of the Real Men Talk is brought to you by R.L. Persons Construction. For over 29 years, they have been a regional leader completing projects that include private, municipal, state, and federal agencies of all types. From mass grading, utilities, concrete of all types, to buildings both conventional and pre-engineered steel. You can expect excellence in all aspects of their finished work. Contact them today at 573-686-1323 and let them know you appreciate them bringing you Real Men Talk. If you have a question about this week's show, please drop us an email to realmen@palaceofpraise.com. We would love to hear from you. And now back to the show with Anthony and Kyler.
All right, welcome back, guys. This is so exciting to Peanut Butter and Jesus. This book that this team has put together is phenomenal. I can't wait for you guys to get it. They're going to tell you where you can find it and how you can learn more about it. But guys, I want to know, what is your favorite part of this experience? Jeff Crum, we'll start with you.
That's my favorite part of this experience.
Yes.
I think my favorite part of the experience has been seeing something I've thought about for a while, like, actually come to life. You know, it's to go from a concept just a few months ago, to hear people, to see the impact that it's having on people, it's like out of body. Like, it doesn't feel real. You know, just, I know it's kind of a brash term, but I mean, it doesn't feel real. This doesn't feel real. Like, it doesn't feel like it's really happening, you know, but yeah, the most exciting part has just been, letting go of something that I think I was holding on to. And like my friends have told me, and I've been encouraged through Leap of Faith ministry, I think it's been, Leap of Faith has encouraged me to take this even bigger leap of faith and to let go and to step out and to let other people come alongside me and to create this book that now we're poised to start putting into people's hands and start making real life impact. I mean, it's unbelievable. So
that's phenomenal. That's awesome. Jeff Wissman, we'll go to you. What's your favorite part about this creation, this Peanut Butter and Jesus?
Oh gosh, there's so many things. First of all, it's great to see Jeff's dream come to fruition. And then it was also wonderful to create characters and scenarios based on Wendy's words that she created for the storyline in the book. It's been great. I'm recently retired, and it was just a joy to wake up every morning, go down to my drawing board and just start drawing.
Yeah. What was that like? So they put this stipulation. We talked about this a little bit before break. You know, you thought you had 20, now you have 40. So you're going down to your drawing board, and you had to have this vision in your. I'm not an artist, so bear with me, but this vision in your mind and it coming to play. What's that like?
It's always exciting. For me, starting a drawing is like a first date. You know, you look at a blank piece of paper, and that's like your date. You don't really know this person that well, so you're a little nervous, you know. And then as I began to draw more and become more comfortable with my characters and the colors that I chose, it's like getting to know that person better. And then by the end of the book, heck, you're already married. I mean, it's great. It's every experience is different, you know. I've loved drawing since I was 10 years old, so Any chance I get to do it, it's just wonderful, and like I said earlier, when you're drawing with a purpose and a lesson that can be learned, that just makes it a million times better.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So Wendy, Jeff talked about you and Jeff talked about a little bit earlier about, how this story it just come to you. You had it written in like 72 hours, something like that. And tell us not only your favorite part about this process, but tell us what that's like also.
So I actually wrote it within like an hour with my time that I spend with the Lord in the morning. And so I always know when the Lord's writing through me, when it comes quickly. And obviously Jeff and I tweaked it a little bit here and there, but like all in all, the story was like there, which is why I was able to, he talks with me one day, I'm calling him after an event the next day practically and saying, here you go, here's the story. And he loves it, which is this confirmation that I was hearing the Lord correctly. And then my favorite part of the process, while the writing, it was really neat. My favorite part, with the publishing part of the company that I run, is putting all of it into the program and seeing it come to real life. Not even just the words, not even just the pictures, but then putting it and making it an actual book and playing with making sure that the background, because Jeff's drawings were 6 inches by 6 inches. And so the book is 9 by 6, right? So I have to make sure that the part that the words are on actually, it flows and it pops and it has color and it's fun, it's playful, and people want to keep turning the pages and not throw the book across the room, right? So, and then making sure that the colors I chose all coordinate with every single page, because the last thing you want to do is have a book that has green on one page and purple on another page and orange. It can be very distracting. The whole point is to allow the book to flow. And so it's just, that's kind of a new love for me. I didn't know, this whole summer, this whole project, I tell people, my God is funny. He's just funny. And you just like, I'm like, what, Lord, what are we doing? Like, and it's such like an awe type of a feeling. And it's not funny, haha. It's almost like he's weird. Like, that's kind of where it is. Like, God is weird. And I don't mean it out of disrespect. I mean it out of like, he's so beyond everything that we can imagine, which makes it weird, right? The total 90s term. And so, I'm just very grateful. This whole thing it's because of this little project that my life has gone, like, when Jeff and I talked in May, here we in October, and I'm not even in the same spot anymore in life.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that I don't stir anything with this question, but we talked about your favorite part of the book. Let's talk about the most frustrating part. Jeff already knows. Look, this is going to be good. Welcome to Real Men Talk.
Real men about to do some talking.
Right. So what was the most fun, without just destroying somebody, let's keep this lighthearted, but what was probably the most, frustrating part about this whole thing? Wendy, we'll start with you.
Oh, man, why do I have to go first? I don't know. I mean, now that it's all done, the frustrations have kind of gone away, but like, I guess when we were really in the thick of it, if I was frustrated at anybody, it was definitely Crum, but not in a bad way, more in a like, because
yeah, absolutely.
Both his mind goes so fast, and the visions that God just throws vision at him, like he just spins vision. And so then I had to be like, slow your roll, man. Like, we gotta compartmentalize all these visions. So like, even though that's a blessing, that was the only part I really got frustrated with, because I'm like, whoa, let's finish the book first, friends. Finish the book first. Then we can take off with the rest of it. So I don't know if that counts as a frustration, but that was probably
absolutely.
Right?
That's fantastic. So Jeff Wissman, we're gonna go to you. So
Okay.
The frustrations.
Well, we were always in a three-way conversation through our texts. So Jeff already, the dream was already there. He already knew what he wanted. Wendy had already written the book. So here I am trying to please these two with drawings. And I thought, oh my gosh, the judgment of Jesus has nothing on these two. Oh my God. You know, what the heck am I going to do if they both hate my work? You know, but then I got over that too. I found my comfort level, and I realized what they were both looking for. And once I realized that, it was a pleasure just sending them pictures.
That's phenomenal. All right, Jeff Crum.
I don't know if I'd call it a frustration. I liked what Wendy said. You know, going through it, there was times when you're different people, right? You got different work ethics, personality types, you know, so there's going to be tension and friction there, right? That's just normal. But I think not necessarily what maybe kind of frustrated me, but really challenged me the most, I think would be a better word, was like having to tell Jeff, knowing how much time and energy he put into a drawing, because he would do the drawing and he would color the whole thing in and spend hours. And I would have to be the one after Wendy and Jeff were both like, this looks amazing. I love it. And I'd get all these emojis and lovey, happy signs. And I'd be like, you know, I'm not that thrilled. I'm not that thrilled with it, you know? And I felt like I was always having to kind of be that bad guy, in some regard. But I would say that was earlier on, you know, this all came so fast. You know, so three people that have barely know each other, right, guys? Like barely knowing each other and jumping in and just three of us jumping into a project. And the fact that it all worked out and just came together the way it did is just phenomenal, I think. But yeah, that was the more challenging part, would be to have to tell Jeff, or even to tell Wendy too, like, hey, Wendy, like, I think maybe we could word this in a different way. You know, that was always hard for me, and I always had to kind of stop and pause and you know, really want to, you know, seek God. You know, there's several times where I had to stop and like maybe wait and send something later in the day or the next day, because, you know, I had to really make sure God was speaking through me. But I think that was the most challenging part, was knowing how passionate both of them were and how hard that they were working, and knowing the place that it was coming from, but then having to be that guy to go, okay, but this doesn't quite line up with the vision that I think God's putting on me. But both of these two were just great to work with through all of that.
That's great. You know, and my goal was through that is that for the listeners to be able to see, you know, not only has God's hand been on this, not only has he poured, you know, vision and everything through it, and he's worked through the three of you guys, but it's not easy, right? What you guys have done in the last, you know, few months, you know, 5 months. I don't even know if it's been that long.
A couple months.
Yeah, a couple months. You know, what God has done through you guys it's not been a cakewalk, right? That there's been hard work, there's been letdowns, there's been setbacks, there's been all these things, and yet you guys, the three of you, have overcome those, and you guys have come together in the name of Jesus and produced something that is beautiful. And so kudos to you guys. So why would you recommend somebody, just off the street, right? Why would you recommend somebody to read this book?
I'll jump in. I'm gonna do it
because we put a heck of a lot of hard work into this thing, doggone it.
Because the illustrations are awesome. Yeah,
they are.
No, I would say, all joking aside, I would say because you are gonna have an encounter. You are gonna have an encounter, and you are not gonna look at a peanut butter and jelly sandwich the same way ever again. I promise you. You are not gonna look at a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or peanut butter or bread, the jelly, the same way that you've looked at it before. So I think, yeah, I would recommend anybody pick it up, read it. It's going to make you smile. You know, like it is, and it's going to make you smile, and it's going to have an impact on you.
Yeah. Wendy, what about you?
No, I mean, that couldn't have been better said if I would have said it myself. I mean, It is true. And, you know, it's funny because every time I hear peanut butter and Jesus, there's actually a peanut butter and Jesus song out there. Like, not peanut butter and Jesus, peanut butter and jelly. But my point is that when you hear peanut butter and jelly, you literally no longer think of Jesus right away. And so that it's just so fun. And to know that it may actually help you start thinking not only like how you can pass your legacy on to your own kids. Whether you're a believer starting this very moment and accept Christ as your Lord and Savior, this peanut butter and Jesus can help you share with your kids or with your friends and equip you to be a disciple of the Great Commission, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I want to.
All right, Jeff Wissman.
Go, Jeff.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want to say real fast, you know, what Wendy just said there is all the times I've talked to people about jumping out of planes for Jesus, right? And people get excited. And I could talk for hours about that. As soon as you say peanut butter and Jesus, I don't care who you are, you're smiling right now. Every time you hear it, you smile.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jeff Wissman, why would you suggest somebody read this book?
I think it's a great book because it has a very deep message, but it's presented in a very whimsical, light-hearted way. And I think it would be a very easy tool to use to teach anybody, really, about God's love for humans. And it's just a great book. And obviously I'm biased, but still, it's a great book. And I think we did a great job on it. And I think whoever reads it, buys it, whatever, will thoroughly enjoy it.
That's great. You know, and I love the fact, you know, Wendy, you kind of hit on it too. The fact that you can take something that's so timeless and so simple and apply the gospel to it, right? I mean, who hasn't eaten a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Unless you got like a peanut allergy or whatever, but you know. You know, but
I lived
seriously,
on peanut butter. I took peanut butter sandwiches every day to school.
Yeah,
from first grade to my senior year of high school. I'm surprised I can still draw this book because I've seen more peanut butter and jelly sandwiches than any human being on this earth. That's no joke.
That's great. I did not know that. That's funny. But yeah, you know, so you take something that's so simple that every person can relate to. You know, we were talking about this the other day, Jeff, that, you know, not everybody can relate to jumping out of planes, right? I mean, we all think it's a cool idea. It's awesome. I would never do it. But, you know, not everybody can relate to that. But there's not a single person that cannot relate to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right?
Right.
So here we are. We're kind of wrapping things up and all this stuff. Jeff, give us, how can people get involved? How can people find out more about peanut butter and Jesus? You know, to give us all of it.
So peanut butter and Jesus, and our slogan is spread the word, you know, an emphasis on read the word, spread the word. Get involved, you know, help us spread the word, help us spread peanut butter and Jesus. It's not just about feeding kids and feeding adults and people spiritually, but we practically want to feed people as well. Really using that object lessons of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So the way you can get involved, we have our book launch coming up. If you're anywhere close to the St. Louis area, come on out to Dave & Buster's. Our friends at Dave & Buster's, Eileen Eckert-Bird, the GMs there, they're graciously making a room available to us. It's free to the public to come out. The Dave & Buster's menu is going to be available to order food. We're going to be reading the book. So come out to Dave Buster's. That's going to be November 2nd, 4 to 7 p.m. You can find out more information about that. Please register. People that register, we want to get a free gift into their hands. So we need to know you're coming so that we know to, you know, prepare that for you. So go to pbandandjesus.love. I think that'll be we'll have that in the description. But and then come out to our Leap of Faith events. Out at our Leap of Faith events, we're going to be promoting and selling our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We're looking for schools. We're looking for churches where we can come out and read the book. We're looking for anybody that's wanting to put on a fun VBS program. We're looking for somebody that's maybe a librarian or a secretary at a school that's looking for somebody to come in and read a fun book. And then we can come in or do our PBJ buffet behind that, you know, and practically feed kids. And then, of course, if there's business owners that are out there listening that care about kids, that care about the Bible being torn from schools, and just this is a way that we can in a fun way get the Bible, get the gospel, get the message into kids' hands. And I've done this little object lesson now with my hands where I'm showing the peanut butter and Jesus without even having the bread and jelly. And I'm able to get kids, and I'm able to even get non-believers smiling and doing it with me. So yeah, so peanut butter and PB and Jesus.love. And then we're on all the socials. We've got TikTok and Twitter and the Instas and Pinterest and all the grams, and we're everywhere. So
yeah. So if I'm a listener, go ahead, Wendy.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I just want to make sure I add to that on the website, we also have a way for you to be one of the first to receive the book. So if you do not live local to St. Louis, there's this way to sponsor or to make a donation, and then we'll mail the book to you as soon as the print's completed.
So what Wendy's talking about, that's a great point, Wendy, is we have a pre-order. So if you come out to the event, you'll get the book at a special price. But for a limited time, we're also making it available. We're doing a pre-order where people can order the book in advance, and we'll ship it out to you as well. And the shipping and handling is included into that donation price.
All right. Well, I will make sure that when we are done here, I will pre-order that book. I'm excited about it. And so if I am a children's pastor, if I am a librarian listening to this, and I'm like, man, this would be awesome for this to come into, my church or my library. Is there a link on your website where people can apply for that, or if they're interested, how does that work?
Yeah, so if you scroll down to the bottom of our page, you'll see our email where you can get in contact with us. So reach out to us. You can call me directly, 314-287-1580. I'll have a conversation with you. Yeah, but our email is directly on the page. That's monitored. You can reach out to any of our social media, see the events and things we have coming up. Reach out there to me if you don't get me through my email. But our email is monitored. We got a team monitoring the email, and we'd love to connect with you. And just like Leap of Faith, we are St. Louis based. We all call St. Louis and the greater St. Louis area home. But we're wanting to spread the word, not just here in St. Louis. We want to take this around the world. So if you're somebody that's out of state thinking, man, okay, this is a St. Louis thing, doesn't have to be. We'd love to come out to your school, come out and spread the word with you.
Amen. Well, any closing thoughts from anybody?
It's been a real pleasure talking with you, and the book was a great project. I really hope we have success with it. I hope we have a big turnout at Dave & Buster's on the 2nd, and keep eating peanut butter.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, guys, I cannot express enough the heart behind this peanut butter and Jesus. I want to encourage you guys as listeners, if you have kids, if you have, children's ministry in your church, whatever it is, see how you can get connected in this. Pre-order this book. If you're close to the St. Louis area, go to the book launch. These are great people. Their heart is pure, and this book is there's so much love in this book, and I am so excited for it to get out there. And so I really want to encourage you guys to get out there and do that. And as always, I want to end in a prayer. Holy Spirit, teach us to be leaders of our homes, of our communities, and of our churches, and teach us to be godly, courageous men. In Jesus' name, amen.
You've been listening to Real Men Talk, brought to you by Palace of Praise Church in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. If you would like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email, realmen@palaceofpraise.com, or visit our website at palaceofpraise.com. If you're a man age 16 and up and would like to be a part of the conversation, join us at the Palace of Praise every Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. If you don't have a home church, consider joining us for worship on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Palace of Praise is located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. New episodes of Real Men Talk drop every Thursday at 5 p.m. You can find us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor.fm, Amazon, and more. Real Men Talk is a production of Palace Media Service.
Real Men Talk has been brought to you this week by RLP Construction in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. For commercial contracting of all types, see RLP Construction today. And by the Jeweler's Bench in Poplar Bluff. They are your one-stop shop for all your fine jewelry needs. They also do in-house repair and are your Citizen Watch dealer. Make sure to thank our sponsors for bringing you Real Men Talk.
If you want to join in the conversation, join us on Thursday nights at 6:30 p.m. We gather with other like-minded Christian brothers to discuss hard-hitting topics that affect men on a daily basis and use a biblical approach to overcome common strongholds that affect our families. We show men the importance of being the spiritual leader of their home and what it means to be a real man in the eyes of Christ. Join us at the Palace of Praise, located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. We meet in room 400 every Thursday. Come be a part of the discussion.